For the launch of the version 4.4, to celebrate the Lantern Rite for this year, Hoyoverse decided to give Cloud Retainer a playable character model. And I know she doesn't fly, but she allows your team to jump so high you will be around the same height as a bird flying. Xianyun is an Anemo Cataclysm user that is focused on healing your team while also allowing the on-field character to be a plunge attacker. Without any furthers, if you haven't followed me, what are you waiting for? Like this video because it really motivates me a lot. 99% of you are not subscribed, so please, it doesn't cost you anything. Plunge that subscribe button, okay? I'm trying my best to post as regular as possible, and your support from that side will help me with my motivation. I recommend you activating the bell for you to be notified when I post any video here. Also, if you guys want to help me with a little monetary help, you can always become a member. Without taking more of your time, let's now talk about Xianyun's kit and talents. Do you want to get all of your favorite characters, but do you have any Primogems? What should you do now? Surely you are going to try to purchase Genesis crystals, but it can get a little bit too expensive. On Loot Bar, they are offering a lower pricing discount with also a fast, safe, and secure service for you to top up. To do the recharge, it's pretty easy. To show you guys, I'm going to buy a Welkin. Your account will be 100% secure because it will only require you to insert your UID, your server region, and the service to do the recharging. And it is also recharging throughout the official channels with MiHoYo, so it allows you to enjoy all the double recharge events. As you can see, the prices here are way cheaper than on the game shop. It is 20% cheaper than official recharge. Once you complete your payment, just wait for a few minutes and your crystals will be there. Click on the link on the description or on the pinned comment and new users can get a 5% off coupon right now. So what are you waiting? Thank you so much Loot Bar for sponsoring this video.
Seize the skies!
Xianyun is a 5-star Anemo Cataclysm focused on being a healer and plunge attack enabler for your team. On her normal attacks, Xianyun performs up to 4 attacks, dealing Anemo damage, and on her charge attacks, she consumes a certain amount of stamina and launches a breeze bolt in a straight line that deals Anemo damage to opponents along its path. When you use her skill, White Claws at Dawn, Xianyun enters the Cloud Transgormification state, in which she will not take any fall damage and she will use Sky Ladder once. In this state, her plunging attack will be converted into Drift Cloud Wave instead, which deals AoE Anemo damage and will end this state. The damage is considered plunging attack damage. Each use of Sky Ladder while you are on this state increases the damage and AoE of the next enhanced plunge attack used. Her skill can be used while in midair, which will make your Xianyun leap forward, dealing Anemo damage to targets along her path. Sky Ladder may be used up to 3 times, and 1 instance of Sky Ladder damage can be dealt to one opponent. If Sky Ladder is not used again in a short period, the state will be cancelled. If Xianyun does not use her enhanced plunge attack while on this state, the next cooldown of her skill will be decreased by 3 seconds and her skill cooldown has a total of 12 seconds. On her burst, Stars Gather at Dusk, Xianyun will deal AoE Anemo damage and will heal all nearby characters based on her attack. Using her burst will also summon the Star Wicker mechanism, and this mechanism continuously follows the active character and periodically heals all nearby characters based on Xianyun's attack. It will start with 8 stacks of Adaptable Assistance, and while Adaptable Assistance is active, nearby active characters will have their jump height increased, and it will only consume stacks when they complete the plunging attack, which will also deal AoE and Anemo damage, but only one Star Wicker can exist simultaneously. To summarize, when you use your burst, you will deal a bit of damage and heal your team a bit, and you will allow your active character to perform up to 8 plunge attacks, and every time they do a plunge attack, Xianyun's mechanism will deal a bit of AoE Anemo damage. Her bursts have a duration of 16 seconds, a cooldown of 18 seconds, and will cost 70 energy.
Seize the skies!
Now let's talk about Xianyun passives because this is where her buffer wall comes in place. Her exploration passive increases gliding speed for your own party members by 15%. So, even though you are not a bird, you will glide faster like them. On her first ascension passive, Gale Feather Pursuit, for each opponent hit by her enhanced plunging attack from the skill, will grant any nearby party members 1 stack of Stormy Pinion for 20 seconds. You can have a max of 4 stacks, and this will cause the character's plunging attack crit rate to increase by 4, 6, 8 and 10% respectively. For your second ascension passive, consider the Adept is in her realm. When the Star Wicker created by her burst has an Adaptable Assistance stacks, nearby active characters' plunging attack shockwaves damage will be increased by 200% of Xianyun's attack, and the maximum damage increase that can be achieved this way is 9000. Each plunging attack shockwave damage instance can only apply this increased damage effect to a single opponent, and each character can trigger this effect once every 0.4 seconds. For her talent priorities, focus on her burst first because it will be her way of buffing and healing your team, then her skill just if you want some damage, and for last her normals, which you can leave unleveled since she will not be on field that much. But if you want to do a DPS build, you actually want to level up all of these three.
Seize the skies!
Now let's talk a bit about Xianyun Constellations for those who will support her no matter what. Her C1 will give one additional charge to her skill, and even though it seems simple, because it really is, you can't forget that with the extra skill, you will get more energy and better times with exploration. On her C2, after using a sky ladder from her skill, Xianyun's attack will be increased by 20% for 15 seconds. Additionally, the effects of her second Ascension passive will be enhanced. The active character's plunging attack shockwave damage will be increased by 400% of Xianyun's attack instead of the original 200, and the maximum damage increase that can be achieved this way is 18,000 instead of the original 9,000. This constellation, just like many C2s, is amazing because it will improve both her healing and especially the buffs she will provide to the team. Her C3 will increase the level of her burst by 3. Her C4, after using Sky Ladder 1, 2 or 3 times during one skill state, when an enhanced plunging attack unleashes during the instance hits an opponent, it will heal all nearby party members for 50, 18 or 150% of Xianyun's attack, and this effect can be triggered once every 5 seconds. This constellation makes her even more comfortable to play as a sustainer, since now you will be healing your team with the skill as well. Her C5 will increase the level of her skill by 3, and for last, on her C6, after Xianyun uses 1, 2 or 3 sky ladders within one state caused by her skill, the crit damage of an enhanced plunging attack created in this instance of the state will be increased by 15, 35 or 70%. Within 16 seconds after Xianyun has used her burst, her skill will not enter a cooldown. This effect will be cancelled once she has used her skill 8 times. This constellation is a good change of pace, since you will now be able to turn your Xianyun into a DPS instead of only a buffer and a healer.
Seize the skies!
It's finally time to talk about the best artifact sets that you will want to get for your Xianyun. In my opinion, Xianyun best in slot will be the 4-piece VV. With the 2-piece, you will give her 15% anemo damage bonus, which is nothing special since she will not do a lot of damage on her own. But with the 4-piece, you will increase the swirl damage by 60%, while also decreasing the element rest of the element infused in the swirls by 40% from the enemies. So, this set will make any other element on your team deal more damage if you swirl it. This set will be normally her best in slot, even on teams where you will be using Xiao for example. Those teams will need Furina, and with this set, you will allowing your Furina pets to deal extra damage as well. If you are playing on teams that don't take a lot of value out of the 4-piece VV, her second best option is 4-piece Song of Day Past. With the 2-piece, you will increase your healing bonus, and with the 4-piece, you will convert your heal into extra damage for your on-field character. If you are still farming for these options, you can also use 4-piece Noblesse, 4-piece Oceanwood Clam, or combinations of 2-piece between the sets that give healing bonus, ER or attack percent. Just before we go into artifact stats, if you are the delusional like me and want to make your Xianyun a DPS character, either you have C6 or not, her best in slot set will be the Marishosi if you pair her with Furina, and if you don't, I can see the 4-piece Desert Pavilion Chronicle being her best option, as long as you charge attack before doing your plunges.
Seize the skies!
After knowing the best sets for Xianyun, let's now talk about the best stats that you will want to get. For the Sense, ER or attack percent, for the Goblet, attack percent, and for the Circlet, attack percent or crit rate if you use Favonius. For substats, you should be always looking for attack percent, ER, and crit rate if you use Favonius. Just some things I want to address now. You will need a total of 45 attack to maximize her second Ascension's passive, something that will be super hard if you don't have her signature, since her heals also scale with attack percent, healing bonus Circlet is not recommended over attack. And Xianyun also seems to have problems with energy, so most of the times you will want around 200 ER, leading to an ER Sense or weapon most of the times. My final build for her would be ER Sense, attack Goblet and attack Circlet. Just before we proceed to the weapons, if you are still delusional about the DPS Xianyun, you will want an attack percent Sense, anemo damage Goblet and crit Circlet.
Seize the skies!
For Xianyun weapons, her best in slot will be her signature weapon, Crane's Echoing Call. It has a massive base attack and provides even more attack on the substat. On the passive, after the user hits opponents with a plunge attack, you will buff the plunge attack damage for your party members by 28%, and every time they do a plunge attack, you will restore 2.5 energy. This weapon is her best option by a mile because it will not only provide a lot of attack to maximize her passive, but will also alleviate her energy requirements. Her second best option is also the best F2P option for old players. Old Swarm Eye. It has a relatively high base attack for a 4-star and even more attack on the substat. On its passive, after using the skill, you will increase your energy recharge by 24% for 10 seconds. The best part of this weapon is that it was an event weapon, though most players will have it to R5, increasing their ER by 48% instead. Other 5-star weapons like Skyward Atlas or Memory of the Dust are not recommended besides stat sticks, because their passives will be kinda ignored by Xianyun, so just use them if you don't have any of the following options. For the F2P players, not the OG ones this time, all of the others, Prototype Ember will be the best option for Xianyun. It will provide HP % on the substat, which is sad, I know, but on the passive, you will generate extra energy and generate extra HP for your team. This weapon, even though it doesn't offer attack %, alleviates your ER struggles throughout its passive, and since it's a craftable weapon, every player can R5 it. Favonius Codex, it can also be an okay option for Xianyun. It provides ER on the substat, and on its passive, you will have a chance to regenerate particles when you crit. Personally, I don't recommend this weapon unless you are really struggling to reach the ER requirements, since using this weapon will force you to build at least 50% crit rate on your Xianyun, though you will lose a lot of attack %, especially on the circlet. And for last, the Giga Shad of the Cataclysm themselves, Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. This weapon, even though it's a 3-star one, will be one of the best options if you manage to cover the ER requirement. Even providing a low base attack and an HP % substat, you will give a massive attack buff to the next character taking the field after you. And since it's a 3-star weapon, you can refine this weapon without any problems. And for those players filled with copium who are still waiting for the DPS weapons, any crit weapon can do the job, but a special focus on the Lost Prayers of Sacred Winds.
Seize the skies!
For Xianyun teams, she will work in every team that you will be able to do plunge attacks, and also teams that you will want an animal healer. So here are some suggestions. Xianyun, Xiao, Faruzan, and Furina for the new Xiao hypercarry team. Xianyun, Bennett, Furina, and Diluc for those Diluc fans who are still waiting for him to shine again, where you can actually switch Diluc for Gumming if you want to test him because you got him on the banners. If you want to do hypercarry Xianyun, pair her with Faruzan, Furina, and Bennett and you will be good to go. Mostly every team where you would use Jin, you can now use Xianyun instead, making her super versatile and not only a niche character like people think. For those who got their Bennett C6th, I have great news for you guys. Anyone paired with him will have some fun with Xianyun on the team.
Seize the skies!
After this guide, I hope you have a more understanding on how to build and play with the Smart and Inventor Adepti. If you liked the video and you like my content, don't forget to sub and liking my video. Your support is amazing and I'm so happy to have you all from that side. Let's see how many time it takes us to reduce those 97% non-subscribers. Don't forget that I will be posting my Gumming guide until the end of this week, okay? All my other socials are on the description if you want to check it out. Tell me your opinion about Xianyun on the comments. Have you tested her? Do you think she is niche? Or she will have a place on the meta? A special thanks to all my members for helping my channel. My name is Dphenix and see you all in the next video. See ya!